Hello guys, good evening everyone. Welcome to Pantech Solutions and I warmly welcome you for the series Raspberry Pi Masterclass Day 12. So in this session we are going to work on camera based interface. So especially today's session we are going to see only IP camera, that is nothing but we are going to access the camera which is already present in our mobile. We are going to, it will be very helpful for a lot of applications such as, so if you are using normal web camera or normal another camera, so it has like a very less resolution. So instead of that, on that scenario we can use your own mobile phone camera so that it's going to have a great resolution. Okay, so that's the specific concept we are going to see in the session. So except other than that, other camera interface going to be provided for internship participants. Okay, so first of all, I'm warmly welcome you all. Good evening to Anusha and Anjali and Dilip, Rakesh and Arvind, Prasad. Good evening, guys. So before that, so same there is an announcement. So attendance link will be available around 6:30 p.m. So once the session is completed, start filling up your attendance form. Okay. So attendance link will be available in the description box. Okay. So once the session is completed. Okay. So table of contents. So first of all, here we are going to see camera with Raspberry Pi. What are all the cameras are available and what are all the cameras which you can use based on your application, and then you are going to work on and we're going to work on like mobile camera interface with the Raspberry Pi, and finally like little bit application, and then finally of course we are going to discuss about the discussion, tech news, and then Q&A. Okay, so prerequisite for the course, this course, to complete this agenda, so you need a USB camera, that is mean web camera or Pi camera or Android mobile camera. Okay, so you can use anything, either or option. Okay, because if you can't able to afford for Pi camera or USB camera, you can use Android mobile phone camera itself. Okay, so and then while talking about the camera with RPA, so there are a lot of cameras are there. So each and every cameras which is used for a special application. So for example, if your application is a normal application, you can go for normal USB web camera or Pi camera. So other than that, you can also use your mobile phone camera. But other than that, if you're going to work on like very in-depth artificial intelligence or deep learning based application, you need a more very better resolution to do a classification. Okay, so for doing that kind of classification at an kind of very great resolution, so on the time you may require high resolution cameras which will be very helpful for your purpose. So for example, and another thing I wish to say, so if you are just working on deep learning kind of concepts, like where you are going to deploy like real-time leaf disease detection, so that kind of application. So I hope you know about the leaf disease, right? But so if you are seeing the normal leaf diseases, so for example, that is normal leaf, and then other leaf diseases such as anthracnose, late blight, dark blight. So there are wide variety of leaf diseases are there. So while whenever we are seeing in a normal eye, so it is also a little bit difficult to identify which diseases which leaf, right? So on that time, so if you are using high resolution camera, it can able to process or it can able to identify the minute changes or minute kind of diseases in the leaf itself, so that it'll have a high resolution, so that it'll have the better classification. So on that kind of thing, so whenever you are going to deploy it in a real time like leaf disease detection or object recognition, so if you're going to start your training, so whenever you are training, you are doing a training, normally a lot of people will collect the like images from the internet, so those things. But other than that, if the data set images is not looking good, so on the time you can do, or you can create the data set by using these kind of high resolution cameras. Because whenever you are going to classify the image or classify the real time objects at in a real time, so you are going to train or you are going to test it with the same camera, like high resolution camera. For example, if you are using a 1080p pixel camera, you are going to recognize what are the object present, or what is the disease of leaf means. So while doing a training itself, you are going to use the same camera to collect the images. So images in the sense, anthracnose means 1,000 images of leaf disease of anthracnose, and 1,000 images of late blight, and 1,000 images of dark blight. So likewise, we'll keep or we'll take or we'll collect the images by using the that kind of same resolution camera, so that whenever you are deploying that same algorithm or same application it in a real time, so on the time your classification will be very great, like, and then accuracy. Other than that, that is also based on your neural network designs and those things. But other than that, this camera resolution or camera kind of quality may also increase the kind of performance wise, it will increase it in a high manner. Okay, so for example, if you are taking autonomous vehicle, so autonomous vehicle, so there will be like camera will use to have, so on the front side and then back side. So if whenever the car is in moving state, so for example, I hope a lot of people have used previous Nokia 010 and Samsung, which contains a camera, tiny camera. So I hope a lot of people it may used about it. Like if you have used, you just put I used a Nokia, or I just used a Samsung, like old mobiles, like button model mobile phones. So if you are taking that mobile, so if you are going to turn on the video, and if I'm going to drag from this position to this position, so if you are seeing the camera, there will be a lot of lag. So after 2 seconds only in your mobile phone, you can able to see there is a movement of frame from this first frame to 50th frame, 50th frame. Okay, so that kind of lagging, that fps is very less. So that kind of lot of thing we have seen before, right? So on the camera, but if you are using nowadays you are using like a very advanced AI based camera, right? So even you are recording time lapse, even if you are recording slow motion, so there are a lot of things which you have used in still now, right? Yeah, we are getting the answer from Gagandeep I used, and Saran, Vijay I used, and Rakesh and Sri Nagesh. Great, thank you for your response. Yeah, a lot of people may use about it. Like so, this kind of resolution or this kind of frame per second, that is FPS, is there are a lot of changes in it. Okay, so if you are going to deploy it in a real time kind of real time recognition, so on the time normal camera is not enough. Okay, so on that scenario we can go for a lot of versions. So here we have HDN simple, Aki, and Raspberry Pi V2 camera module, and V3 V1.3 is also there, and this Ardu cam and the night vision camera, it is also by Raspberry Pi, which is used for using the camera at night time. So if your application requires to be processed at a real like night time also, so you can go for this Noir camera. So Raspberry Pi Noir camera version 2, and plug and play Nexigo USB webcam, and other kind of cameras such as ultra wide lens. So if you want a kind of wider classification or wider kind of application, so on the time you can go for this ultra wide lens maker focus 8 MP wide angle cam module, and Doria automatic eye cut sensor, and Oliver night vision. So there are a lot of cameras. Other than that, there are also the cameras which is can be do or which can be done with the help of like 3D vision. Okay, so for example, if you are using Kinect sensor, so I hope some people may hear about the Kinect sensor. So that is kind of 3D kind of camera, okay, which will be used for observing the dimension of 3D, dimension in the 3D. Okay, so like in 3 dimensions, so that kind of camera also can be used. Okay, so either 2D or either 3D. Okay, so that is based on your requirement. So you can use that kind of image sensor for 360 degree like 3 dimensional camera in application. But other than that, here last we have three cameras which are all known as mission vision camera. But while talking about these kind of advanced cameras, definitely that of course it will be like a little bit expensive. So like a single camera may cost you about like 16,000 and 25,000 and 1,50,000. So that is based on your requirement. So what is your requirement? Are you going to really deploy the that kind of application at a real time means? So then of course you need to go for the high-end cameras with the high specification, with the high frame rate, resolution, and lot of things. Okay, so like wide range, wide how much view angle is there for the normal camera, what are the zoom and then zoom out, and autofocus. There are a lot of parameters are there. Okay, so which we need to choose the cameras for the application which we really want, or where we really want to work. Okay, so that is about the camera with the Raspberry Pi. Okay, so here camera interface with like USB camera or mobile IP camera or Pi camera. Okay, so for internship participants, I'm going to give a little bit a lot of suggestions, like to use USB camera from the kind of like any kind of web page or web service. So that kind of additional bonus we are going to see. But before that, we need to know about the computer vision. So that's why we just skip the computer vision part aside. So in this session, in this YouTube, we are going to see IP camera, that is mobile camera, because it is a little bit new. Okay, so other than that, Pi camera and then USB camera, which we are going to learn it in internship portal. Okay, so I hope you like this bonus. If you like this bonus, please put I like this in your chat. Okay, so for mobile IP camera, so I hope a lot of people are using Android mobile phone. They can use IP webcam, which is free. Okay, you can install it from Play Store. And if you are an iPhone users, but if you really need that application means, actually that there is a Epoch cam is there, but that is a paid one. Okay, we need to pay for it. I think I forgot about the how much price that is. Okay, just please check it out in the App Store. But for Android users, the IP webcam is the greatest application. It is free and it is very easy to use. Okay, so let us first of all let us explore that IP webcam. So before that, I'll open the mobile and I'm going to tell you how to do that. Okay, so while talking about the IP web camera, the first thing is kind of like the mobile phone and your Raspberry Pi should be connected with the same network. Okay, so like so that only you can able to see the or you can able to access the mobile phone's camera. Okay, so only thing, only concept, the Raspberry Pi and your mobile phone camera should be connected with the same network. Okay, so that's the main concept. Okay, so let us see here. Okay, so first of all, here I would like to introduce about the hardwares which we have used here. So hardware in the sense, first of all, Raspberry Pi. Other than that, here we have Pi camera, that is V1.5, I think. Okay, so 1.3 revision 1.3, and USB webcam, normal webcam which you used to have in your home. And then here we have another like interesting camera. So this is nothing but endoscopy. Okay, so this is nothing but endoscopy camera. So I hope you heard about the endoscopy, which is used to insert it into your mouth to view the inside part of your body. Okay, so which will be very helpful on medical field. But we have this camera, so for internship participants, we are going to explore this endoscopy also, not in a practical, just for demo purpose. Okay. So this is endoscopy camera, and then here we have our mobile phone. Okay. So on that mobile phone, we have already installed IP webcam. Okay. So IP webcam is already there. So as I am told again, so like your mobile phone and your laptop should be connected. Your laptop not, your Raspberry Pi should be connected with the same network. Okay, so after connecting with the same network, you just open the IP webcam. So on that IP webcam, you can scroll down to look for a lot of options which will be helpful for setting up the camera. So on that, there is an option called video preferences. Okay, so in the video preferences, you can choose either are you going to use a front camera, or are you going to use the back camera, or what is the resolution you need to choose. So in the video preference, it is asking for like video recording, main camera, so secondary camera, and then video resolution and photo resolution. What is the orientation, either it is a portrait or landscape. So there are a lot of settings which is present in here. Okay, so so that's up to here. Okay, so you can use or you can change the camera, like so primary camera, so like that you can change the camera here. Okay, so after changing or after setting the resolution, after setting the camera, what mode do you need, so you just come back and scroll down to the last option. So in the last option, it is going to have start server. Okay, so here the start server is nothing but, so here it going to hold or it going to open the camera and it will assign a certain IP address. Okay, so in the Python program, from the Python program, what we are going to do is we are going to access that IP address so that you can able to access the camera which is already present here. Okay, so this IP web camera, what it going to do, it going to access the camera and it going to have the display or the like camera feed, and it will assign a certain IP address of the certain feed. Okay, so what we are going to do the from Python program, we are going to access that IP address from the Python program so that we can able to get the frame which is already present in that IP address in our Python program, in our Raspberry Pi or anything. Okay, so I hope AI participants may learn about it. Okay, so that's up to here. Okay, so we just have here, so here there is a start server option. So if you click the start server option, it has already started opening the camera. Okay, so if you are seeing here, so it is opened the camera now. So here it has already started streaming. Okay, so here Raspberry Pi is here. I'm just using a primary camera. Okay, so now normally this is endoscopy camera is here, the motor is here, camera is here. Okay, so it is just started on camera. So on that camera, so here it will show an IP address. Okay, so IP address in the sense, so it will assign a certain IP address with one port number. So here this port number is nothing but a HTTP. Okay, so I hope you remember the HTTP port number, that is 80. Okay, so here it is the IP address is 192.168.1.13:8080. So which means, so this is the IP address, like 192.168.1.13 is IP address, and colon 8080 is nothing but a port number. Okay, so port number of HTTP protocol. Okay, so what we are going to do is we are going to access it from the Python program. Okay, so let us open the Raspberry Pi. go for the option go for the program. So Day-12. So on that, here we are going to provide every source code and like how to use it in a different way in a website web page. So those things for internship participants. Okay, so definitely it will be beneficial for you. So here in this session we're going to see only IP webcam. Okay, so I'm just opening the IP webcam. It is very simple. Okay, so before doing that, so here what we are going to do is like import url lib.request. So here before itself we have installed CV2. So CV2, that is OpenCV. Okay, so on the upcoming session for internship participant, we'll show you how to do that, how to install OpenCV in detail. But for this YouTube demo participants, so I'm going to show a little bit about certain like how to install OpenCV in basic. Okay, so you can type sudo space pip3 install. So pip means Python environment on 3 pip3 install space OpenCV hyphen Python. Okay, so that's up to it. Okay, so sudo pip3 install OpenCV hyphen Python. So it will install a Python library, sorry, OpenCV library in the Python 3. Okay, if you want the same OpenCV library for Python 2 means, so instead of pip3 you can put sudo pip2 or pip for installing the library in the Python 2. Okay, but everyone's suggestion to not to use a Python 2. Okay, because it is going to expire. Okay, so that's up to here. Okay, so you just install a OpenCV with the help of the command called sudo pip3 install OpenCV hyphen Python. And about the computer vision, what is computer vision and what you can do with the computer vision, those things in detail, because this time is not enough. So that we are going to provide that kind of information for Raspberry Pi masterclass participants. So I hope you will like that. Okay, so that's up to here. Okay, so first of all, what we are going to do, we are going to import a library called url lib.request. So which means so here, as I told you, so this camera is feeding the camera feed with the help of the IP address using HTTP protocol. So which is nothing but an IP address. So to call that the URL, so you need a library called url lib.request. But if you are using a Python 2, the library name is url lib2. Okay, so import space url lib.request and CV2, which is used for like kind of decoding the image data from the IP address. So that kind of application which we need to install a CV2 and NumPy. So NumPy is used for getting or that library will be helpful for handling the array or kind of list. So those things can be done with the help of NumPy and other arithmetic operations. So I hope artificial intelligence participants may know about clearly about it, as well as Raspberry Pi participants will know about those things on detail in the internship portal. Okay. So import immutals. So immutals will be helpful for resizing, and there are a lot of purpose as like OpenCV. Immutals also will hold that lot of applications which is used to that. So here we just used for resizing the frame because it doesn't know the monitor resolution like your program or your computer vision. It doesn't know about your complete like laptop frame or display frame. So that's why on basic what we are going to do, we are going to do the resize of the frame so that it won't show like very largely. Okay, so instead of that, as a standard we are just going to use a width is equal to 450. So we are going to resize that complete frame which is obtained from the mobile phone to like it will be like very small. Okay, so and then we are going to initialize the URL. So for that URL is equal to HTTP. So same as the IP address we need to pass here. Okay, HTTP colon 192.168.1.13 colon 8080. But you can ask why you are putting like slash short.jpg. Here what we are going to do is we are going to take a screenshot. We can't able to stream completely on IP address. So if you are streaming that kind of directly, so you may face problems like buffer. We need to have a buffer. If it can't able to hold the data, you may get the old data instead of getting a new data or new frame. So there are a lot of problems while if you are not using that kind of buffer and all. So what we are going to do, we are going to simply instead of streaming, so we are going to take the snap of the certain frame which is already present in that website. Okay, so URL is equal to http colon 192.168.1.13 colon 8080 slash short.jpg. It's going to take the snap of the certain frame which is already present in that IP address. Okay, so while true, and after the while true, these three lines are the main thing because this three line is responsible for for processing the values which is present in the website. So for example, the website address or URL is 192.168.1.13 colon 8080 where there is already that image is here. Okay, so first of all what we need to do, we need to open that URL. right? So for example, if you are trying to access like 192.168.1.1 means like 1.0 something like that, if that IP address is not assigned still, so on the time you may face like 404 error. So there are a lot of like I can't able to access the page is invalid, URL is invalid. So there are a lot of errors may come. So on that first scenario, HTTP, the first thing which we need to do is, first of all we need to open the URL. So for opening the URL only, we are using the library called URL lib. Okay, so we just assigning one variable image path is equal to URL lib dot request dot URL open of URL. So URL open means it is a syntax, and here this URL variable represent the IP address which is present here. Okay, so URL 192.168.1.13. okay, we are going to access this IP address, and after that what we are going to do, we are going to get like we are going to get into a like kind of array. Okay, so only after if we get into a array, then only we can able to decode what it is present inside. So for example, if you take a certain image, okay, so let us take same this box. I hope participants may excited by seeing this image, because only artificial intelligence participants. Okay, so here we have this box. Okay, so let us take this is an image. So this is the image means, so it is nothing but a kind of matrix. So for example, it will have a number of rows and a number of columns. So each and every rows and columns, so combination of rows and columns is known as a cell, right? So here that is nothing but a matrix. So matrix or pixel. Okay, so that pixel, so each and every pixel is going to represent a certain value. So for example, here it is written as neural compute stick. Okay, so if I want to capture this box as an image, so the pixel value of one is this n part, no, so n is there, that part of its pixel value going to be different when compared to the pixel value of this blue color. Okay, so there is two kind of pixel value colors. One value is that blue color, like light blue is this side, and blue shade, dark blue shade is here. Okay, so we are going to have that kind of like that pixels are there. Okay, so that pixel, so we need to decode, or we are going to get into array. So after getting into array, we need to decode it to form that as an image. Okay, so that's why here what we did, so first thing we have accessed the URL. First of all, we just opened the URL, that IP address, with the help of URL library. Okay, so the second thing, with the help of numpy. So numpy, which we are used to convert into an array to get in the format of np.unit8. okay, so unit 8, so we are going to take that into array. So and after the third thing, so image is equal to cv2.im decode. So here what we are going to do, we are going to get the decode, like we are going to decode that array value to convert or to get into an image. So for that we are going to use the library called OpenCV. Okay, three libraries. First of all, URL lib, which is used to open the URL. Numpy is to get into like make it to be like array, and like OpenCV, that is computer vision. The CV2 library is for make or to convert that array value into an image. Okay, so that's the thing we have, which we have did in these three lines. So after we did this, so image is equal to immutals dot resize of image comma width is equal to 450. What we are going to do, so in the image variable, it already going to hold the image, complete image frame. Okay, so so after getting that, so comma width is equal to 450. So 450 means so we are going to get the data and we are going to get that frame, and we are going to resize it the 450. Okay, so we are going to resize into 450, and we are going to, what we are going to do, we are going to print it. So cv2.im show of Pantech comma image. So this Pantech, this string which is representing what is the name of your figure, and comma img which represent the frame which is already resized one. Okay, so and then if odd of q, so here what it means, like, so whenever you are pressing q, okay, so whenever you are pressing q, then it will be terminated. Okay, so your program will be terminated and it will come out from the exit. So exit of 0 means it will come out from the loop. Okay, so from that while loop. Okay, so that's up to here. So first of all, you just see the output. Okay, so control F5. Okay, now it is printing image. So here it is dark because camera is dark now. Okay, so here I'm going to do a real stream. Okay, so if you are seeing here the let's do the hardware too. Okay, so here I'm just access this mobile phone camera with the help of the Python program. Okay, so we just access this mobile phone camera, so which can be used for wide variety of applications, such as like a color following robot or human following robot. So where the resolution plays a role. Okay, so that is based on your computational power of your system, kind of like Raspberry Pi or Jetson Nano or Google Coral, or the board which you are going to use. Okay, because whenever the resolution is increasing, your computational power should be very fast, because like very high, because so that only it can be able to handle the high resolution. But if you are going to provide a very high resolution for a very less computational power system, you may feel lot of lagging and a lot of slow kind of process in your Raspberry Pi. Okay, so that on the time, so that's why we need to decrease the resolution, or we need to increase the power of the computational system. Okay, so that's the main thing. Okay, we just explore like how to use mobile phone camera from the Python program from the Raspberry Pi also. Okay, and another to note, if you want to check it out, like how to work this on without Raspberry Pi, you can check it out with your laptop itself. Okay, but you need to install that library like OpenCV, NumPy, and Immutals. So Immutals also can be installed with the help of sudo space pip3 install Immutals. Okay, so these kind of library explanation and everything going to be given for internship participants. And if you really want to learn these kind of computer vision and then artificial intelligence, that artificial intelligence masterclass is going to help you a lot, because without any hardware you can practice by your own, like computer vision, deep learning, machine learning, and etc. Okay, so that's up to here. So up to here, what we did, we just accessed this IP address with the help of the library called urllib, and then OpenCV, and then NumPy, and then Immutals. Okay, so urllib for opening the website web address, and OpenCV for decoding that decoding that array value, and NumPy is for getting that array, and then Immutals for doing a resize. And with the help of cv2.im show, we're going to print that or display that image in our current frame. Okay, so that image, it should be represented in the name of Pantech. So that's why in the string we just dropped Pantech comma img. Okay, so until I'm pressing something, so here we just put if odd of q. Okay, it will return a hexadecimal value, and then it will compare it with, so if it is pressed, then it will be terminated. Okay, so that's up to this code. So I hope you understand. So if you understand, please put I understand in your live chat. Okay, so that's up to here. So same as like for Pi camera, so we need to do some kind of camera configurations, Raspberry config, we need to enable the camera and those things. So those kind of configurations and other kind of additional source code going to be given for internship participants, and installing computer vision and basic contribution for Python, or sorry, OpenCV. Okay, so this those things which I've already seen for artificial intelligence masterclass are same as like for Raspberry Pi masterclass participants. So we're going to provide it for in the internship portal in detail, because without knowing a basic computer vision and other libraries such as other kind of sub topics is there, right? So like other sub libraries such as Immutals and NumPy, and then in the deep learning while talking about Keras and then DLib. So there are a lot of libraries. We need to explore that library first, and then only we need to jump into kind of in-depth kind of installation, the library, how to install it, how the library is working, and what are the cheat sheet of a certain library. So those things we are going to learn in detail for internship portal. Okay, and if you are willing to access in artificial intelligence to learn completely in depth, so you can go for artificial intelligence masterclass, which is already available. If you want to register, please register as soon as possible. The link is given in the description below. Okay, so if you want to join the internship, the benefits of the internship is you are going to get 30 days video lectures, because YouTube is only for 15 days, and you'll get the source codes, and as well as you'll have bonus lectures, as well as you're going to have a flexible timing as like a Udemy. So we are going to provide certain access for your portal, like certain access for the certain portal, so you can access at any time, and materials such as presentation and source code and libraries and other materials which is required, we're going to provide it for you. Okay, so you can compare this agenda with any other in the world or in this galaxy. Okay, so it is a great agenda by covering a lot of concepts for 30 days in this very less price. Okay, if you want to register, please register as soon as possible. The link is given in the description below. Okay, yeah, we are getting the response, like I understand and I understood. It's really great. Thank you so much for your response, guys. And we are going to start our discussion. So you can start your discussion, guys. So what you are thinking about the motor? Because if you are removing the motor from your day-to-day life, it's really very difficult, because your vehicle transportation and your home appliances such as grinders and machine. So there are a lot of things are there, like your fan and cooling fan. So there are a lot of things. Without the motor, there is no comfort, right? So you can start your discussion, guys. So before that, I'm going to show like little bit practical based learning. So on about the motor also, I'm all ready. So if you are ready, I hope you will be also ready. So if you're ready, please put I'm ready in your live chat. And if you are ready to start your discussion, you can also start your discussion. I'm going to read your discussion too. Okay, so I'm going to wait for you. Okay, so wait for 5 minutes. Or sorry, 2 minutes. Okay, first answer by Arvind. Motor is used to convert electrical energy into mechanical energy. That's great. Kinetic energy and torque to mechanical energy. Motor which reduces human efforts. Okay. Device used to move and run something. Yeah, it's great. Okay, we are getting more ready. Okay, guys. As you told, so I'm going to start my discussion. Okay, so before exploring what are all the types of the motor, I'm going to give a little bit explanation with the normal toy motor. I think you used to play about with this motor by using a blades and those things. I think I hope you have already played with this toy motors. If you have played, you just put I played in your live chat. Okay, so what we are going to do? So here we have this motor. So I hope you have already seen this motor. So in this motor, normally what you're going to have, so I just removed this white part. Okay, so I'm going to disable it. Okay, so that's it. Okay, so only three parts is here. So other than that, inside that there is also kind of like magnet is also present in here. Okay, so here only we have three parts. Okay, so here it is normally normal DC motor. Okay, normal DC toy motor. Okay, so first of all, here this part is known as a rotor. This part is a stator. Okay, so inside the stator we are going to have the two magnets. One is north and another one is south pole. Okay, so two things. Okay, so north pole and then south pole magnets inside the stators, because this is going to be static, because this part is not going to rotate. Okay, so that is stator, and this is going to rotate inside that motor, right? So which has a central axle and those things. So this is going to be rotate, so this is known as a rotor. Okay, and then here inside that where we are going to give the power supply, so it's going to have some copper, some kind of which is present in here. Okay, so some material is inside that. So these are known as brushes. This part, no, so the part which is present here, this is known as a commutator here, which is kind of which will create a friction. Okay, so whenever the motor is rotating, that brushes should be pulled that commutator, so that it is creating some kind of friction. Okay, so that's the main thing about DC motor. And here there is a coil. Okay, coil winded in a kind of conductor. Okay, so whenever the coil is getting electrocuted now, okay, whenever you are giving some kind of electric supply to this coil there, so then it will turn into a magnet, that is known as an electromagnet. Okay, so in this inside this stator it is already has a magnet, right? This is known as a permanent magnet, because that permanent magnet, it is not going to lose its effect. So that is known as a permanent magnet, which is present inside the stator. But here whenever you are talking about the rotor, here you need kind of changing a polarity from north to south, so that it will repel. So that we are going to use the kind of conductor which is going to act like a magnet. So this is known as electromagnet. And while talking about the DC motor on specific, so it's going to have some kind of friction between the brushes and then commutator. So that's why a main advantage of AC motors and all. So it is like kind of lot of motors are there, like if you are talking about like brushless motor or like brush motor. So brush motor is going to have the friction, but whereas a brushless motor, it doesn't going to have the frictions. Okay, so for example, if you are seeing in here, so these are all the lot variety of types of motors. So for example, normally if you are talking about electric motor, so first of all that is divided into AC and then DC. On that AC motor is going to have linear, synchronous and induction motor. So on that induction, single phase, three phase, you can read it. Okay, so which each and every motor is used for a certain application based on your requirement. For example, if you're going to use not like if you're talking about the fan which is present here, so that going to use a DC motor. Okay, so DC or AC motor, so that is based on your purpose. Like for example, even though you can use a DC motor, but normally the fan which we have used is that is a AC motor. Okay, so that is based on the purpose which we need, like in a copter, like in a helicopter. So those kind of thing, it will use the SRM motor. So that is based on your torque and based on your power consumption. So based on your application, we need to choose the motor. Okay, so I think we have already used like normal DC motors, and more people may not use about AC motor. Okay, but more people used about the DC motor. Okay, which is we are using in a normal life. Okay, so that's about these kind of motors. Okay, so the main factors or main components are there: stator, rotor, and if it is a DC motor, it's going to have the commutator and then brushes. Okay, so which is going to create a friction. So whenever you are going for the AC motor, that speed is little like without any kind of like friction, so it will be very fast when compared to other motors, and reliability and long lasting. So those kind of thing, it will be very great on the AC motor. Okay, so I hope you like this kind of discussion. So if you like this today's discussion, you just put I like in your live chat. So that's up to here. So we are in the end of the session. So before that, tomorrow's discussion is going to be about generators and dynamos, because a lot of people on previous years, so we like about like talking about 80s or 90s, people may seen about the dynamos on real life. Now it is not that much in real life because we are not seeing that. So on the tomorrow session, we are going to see about the generators and the dynamos. Okay, so and then tech news of 12. So so here you are seeing some kind of images, right? So what is that image? Some radish or something is catching the uh, cat or dog, right? So here OpenAI, I hope you know about the OpenAI industry, right? So if you don't know, play, please just search for it. OpenAI handles DALI, so that is kind of artificial intelligence application, which is going to like and clip AI models that create and classify images. Actually, so for example, if you take you people, so I'm just going to give you one kind of concept. So concept in the sense, I'm going to give like assume one rabbit is taking its own dog as for walking. So that is my concept, or that is my word. So from that word, you can able to imagine how the radish, or how the carrot or something like that. So for like imagination, like creative imagination, so you can able to do that imagination, right? So other than that, so always we'll tell like artificial requires more data, so those things to create automatic with the help of sentence or the word which is present here. So this artificial intelligence program, that is OpenAI company, which is launched, that is DALI. So DALI can create images from quickly text description, such as so here there is an illustration of a baby daikon radish in a two walking a dog. Okay, so this is a funny word, funny sentence, right? So from the sentence, artificial intelligence program can able to create these kind of animation pictures. Okay, it's really great, right? So I hope you like this tech news. So we'll stay connected, guys. So we are in the final end of the session. So before that, we have a Q&A. So if you have any questions, you can ask your questions now. Guys, you are telling that attendance link is not working. You are not coming here for attendance. Once the session is completed, that's why I'm just providing a lot of announcement in the first slide itself. Session is after the session is completed, attendance link will be available in the description box. Please don't rush up for the attendance form, because you are wasting the other like other electronics or these kind of technology enthusiasts. You are just spoiling them. Okay, don't rush up for the attendance form. You are not going to do with the attendance because only the certification. So definitely that is also available. We have already discussed about it. Attendance link will be available in the description, but you are wasting your time in the Q&A session. It's not like that. Okay, please spend your time in the valuable places and valuable words. Okay, can we run more than one program in a single Raspberry Pi? Saran Vijay, it's a great question. Yes, you can do. You can run it. Okay. Ganeshwar Ahir, something about BLDC motor, that is brushless DC motor, direct current motor. Kind of like it doesn't has a friction. BLDC motor is kind of like kind of high end application which we can use. Other than that, if you want really want, I'll check it out and I'll tell you. Okay. Guys, still now a lot of our participants are only rushing up for the attendance. Please don't do it. Uh, that's not necessary. Don't spoil others who is really want to ask the technical question, because a lot of people are asking the technical question, but it is scroll down with the kind of spamming a message. Okay, so please use it the time wisely. Okay, so you can ask your Q&A, guys. Still attendance link is asking. Yeah, there is answered by then. BLDC motor is special kind of synchronized motor. Great. Murali Krishnan. For internship videos or for 60 days, these 60 days count from which date? Actually, it is not. So that will start from after the completing the 30 days. So after once you completed after this 30 days is completed in the internship portal, the 60 days start from there. Okay, so that's why I'm just insisting you to register for an internship as soon as possible. Okay. C++ is quite faster than Python. Can be used? Yes, of course, you can use C++. Even if you have worked on Jetson Nano kind of board, it has some kind of Jetson interference, which is the library which also has the code for both Python as well as C++. You can check it out. Sir, what if the motor fails to provide the RPM desired? Manish Singh, it's a great question. So normally the motor speed can be increased in a lot of ways. So for example, based on the input supply, you can able to increase the speed of the motor. And then second way, if it is a pulse based like BLDC motor or induction motor, like if you are talking about induction motor, you can able to increase the speed of the induction motor with the help of increasing the frequency. Okay, so that's the second way. And third way to increase the copper winding is there, no? So you just want to increase the number of winding inside the in the inside the motor. So for example, if you are taking this motor, it has a few number of windings, right? So if you want to increase the speed further, you can also increase the kind of like coil or like more winding, so that the electromagnetic it will be like very effective when compared to like basic winding of coil. Okay, so these are all the ways for increasing the speed of the motor. Okay, guys, we are in the end of the session. So thank you so much for each and every participant, except the attendance hungers. Okay, so please don't rush up for the attendance, guys. It's really it is not that much necessary for you. Okay, please concentrate on this session. So thank you so much for every participants who have attended this session. So if you want to know about lot of masterclass series, you can please visit learn.pantechsolutions.net. And if you want to know about like kind of project or other kind of product, you can go for www.pantechsolutions.net. And the quote of the day: the nitrogen in our DNA, the calcium in our teeth, the iron in our blood, the carbon, I think you know about it, where the carbon is. And that's known as like we are made up of star stuff. It is like kind of, it is not that much a kind of science and those things, but it is really great interactive science, right? So which is said by Carl Sagan. So it's a great quote, right? So thank you so much for each and every participants. So it's me Sanjay. Until then, bye. We'll see you on the tomorrow session.